I think we're live. Yep, we are live. Okay. So, hello everyone. This is Sir Weds of ISF Media, and again, we'll be showing you how to fully create your interactive dashboard using Microsoft Excel from our Google spreadsheet online encoding for the DisMEA, District Monitoring Evaluation and Adjustment Report, and the School Monitoring Evaluation and Adjustment Report. And unfortunately, again, our dogs of our neighbors are already barking. Damn! Can't they? Every time I go live, they just won't shut up. Won't shut up. I'm not sure. Parang nananadya. Anyway, I have to share this video first to our channel so that others can participate if they want to participate. We also have a dedicated Google Meet channel where you can join us if you would like to join us and share your thoughts, or if you would like to interact with us online. And we have a Google channel for everyone to join, so you can share your thoughts. Maybe you'd like to voice out some of your concerns. If you have any questions or anything, anything out of anything that goes out of your mind, just join us. You're all welcome to join. Just no, just no bad words. Let's keep our conversation civil and let's be professional. Let's just hope to have fun tonight and while learning, because that's always been our advocacy here in the ISF Media channel in YouTube. Okay, let me just share this. Interaction and broadcast live for the creation of Excel dashboards for SMEA, DisMEA, and SMEA reports. Let me just complete this one. Okay, I guess that's shared already. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Now it's a lot of dead air. I'm really sorry about that, but just give me a second, okay? Right, post. I'm gonna post this on my feed. Yep. And right post. Maybe share it on my messenger. Discard. Okay. Yep. Where the hell are our group chats? Yep. And there you go. Yep, that's it. Okay, so I think we can start. Again, this is Sir Weds of ISF Media, or the Integrated School Forms Media, which is dedicated to provide different tutorials, videos, broadcasts, and other discussions that would relate to depth ed tasks to make your responsibilities, jobs, or quote unquote vocation a lot more easier and more efficient in order for us to be more effective in our roles in the teaching and learning delivery. So I am highly focused on the technical part, especially in using Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, and even video editing and audio editing using Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe Audition. So, as I was saying, this will be the continuation of our previous discussion, which was creating the interactive dashboard for our district monitoring, evaluation, and adjustment reports, which also includes our school monitoring, evaluation, and adjustment reports. So basically, what we're trying to accomplish here is to have all of the data that is already available by the different schools, which they were able to submit to our district offices or our district coordinator to provide a summary template or a summary dashboard, which will be a lot easier for us to present using PowerPoint or even directly using Excel. So the interactive dashboards will be using different forms of graphs that would represent our data. Instead of having it in a table form, it will be in a graphical form or a visualization form. So our discussion today will be more onto how to create these interactive dashboards and continuation, and how we will be creating a table that will be used in as the baseline for our interactive dashboards, how to choose the right type of graph in presenting, or using the right or the appropriate type of graph that will be used in making presentations that would directly interpret or show what we are trying to present to our audiences or viewers. So that's a very crucial part in any presentation, choosing the right type of graph. There are a lot of teachers in the field whom I've seen present using PowerPoint, using Excel. They are using graphs, but the graphs aren't really suited for what they are trying to present. And then there are also instances when the graph in itself is a little bit messy. Graphs are a visualization presentation. So it means that if someone will look into the graph, they will immediately understand what you are trying to present. So in other words, the graph in and by itself must be able to communicate with your viewers. But the problem with a lot of the presentations that I've seen in the field right now is that they just use graphs, and then they put a lot of art, colors, everything. A lot of things are being placed in the graphs that aren't necessarily supposed to be there. And then the graph in it by itself, as I was saying, isn't really suited or appropriate in the presentation that they are trying to communicate with our viewers or our audiences. So before we begin, I would like to request everyone who will be watching or who is watching right now in our broadcast to please subscribe in our channel, ISF Media, and please click that notification bell once you subscribe for you to be notified if ever we will be publishing any video or broadcasting just like this one online here in our YouTube channel. So without further ado, I would like to present to you the continuation of our discussion previously in our creation of the RMEA and DisMEA and SMEA dashboards. So what you're seeing right now is the previous template that we used, but this time our teachers or our school personnels from the different schools in our district already encoded their data in our table. So I created this one. I think everybody saw it when I was creating it, where they can easily encode their data here. So they've already encoded, except for one school, but I guess we can just do away with it because it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of 7 schools, we have 6 schools who have already completed their encoding in our dashboard, in our database table. So we only have one school who hasn't started in completing their task. But nonetheless, I think we can do it. So the first thing I would actually do is to Google spreadsheet data, which I only used online so that every school can immediately access the table and encode their data. So it will be a lot more efficient on their part. But when I am going to create a dashboard, I won't be using Google spreadsheet because of 2 reasons. Number 1, there are a lot of limitations in the spreadsheets. So creating a dashboard isn't quite efficient when you are using Google spreadsheets. And number 2, the interactions and interactivity of the Google dashboard when you're creating it in a spreadsheet isn't as easy when you're gonna be using it in Microsoft Excel. Besides, when you're going to be presenting it online or maybe offline, most of the time it's going to be offline. If you're going to be presenting it in a large crowd, or your evaluators or your school monitoring personnel, it would be a lot more convenient on your part if you were going to use your laptop and then use a projector and present it offline. So that's why I am more inclined to use Microsoft Excel when I am creating the the interactive dashboard. So what I'm gonna do first is open my Microsoft Excel. So I have here my Microsoft Excel. So I'm just gonna click on create. So this is gonna be a blank template. We're gonna be starting from scratch. So from 0, we're gonna be doing it from the beginning. So the first thing is opening your Microsoft Excel, and then after that, I'm just gonna copy everything. So I'm just gonna click here. That highlights all of it. Just press Ctrl C to copy. So that's gonna copy everything, and then go back to my Excel and then just paste it. So I already now have all of the data available. So with that, because I'm gonna be using it to present as a district-wide report, because this is going to be a DisMEA, District Monitoring Evaluation and Adjustment Report for school year 2021-2022, I need to have my my headers to identify all of the data available. So as you can see here, there are blanks. It's because if you can see here in our Google spreadsheet, there are colors. We've filled our headers with colors, and the text are colored white. When I copy and pasted it on my Google spreadsheet, it only pasted it as values, which is really not a problem. But the headers are also colored white. So what I'm gonna do is just gonna highlight everything there, and I'm just gonna click on automatic to let all of the data show using a black text. Now with that, I'm gonna add another column, maybe before the school. I'm gonna insert it here, and then I'm gonna put it district. Because when you're going to be creating a table, you need to identify every part of that data element according to what category or what classification it is going to be. And because this is just going to be one district, so I'm just going to be putting on the name of our district here, which is Santa Ana. So this is going to be Santa Ana District. So if you're going to interpret it, it's going to be like Santa Ana Central Elementary School, that's SACES. Santa Ana Central Elementary School, which belongs to the Santa Ana District. If you're going to have multiple districts in your report, the same way that I did during our reading program, when I was still in the division's office, I was in charge in creating a data analysis and presentation of the whole division reading program or division reading profile of Davao City, wherein I had here district and then clusters and then grade levels. So each part of that should be categorized in each column. So if you're going to do this and you're going to present it as a division monitoring evaluation and adjustment report, then you will gonna have districts here with multiple districts and then multiple schools and so on and so forth. So here we only have one district, so we're just gonna put it here as Santa Ana and go down to the last item. So this is gonna be Zunta, and then I'm gonna highlight all of that and press Ctrl D so that all of the data will be populated from the second row up to the last row. So the last row is 233. Now that I've done that, I can now immediately create my interactive dashboard using this data. But how do I do that? I need to convert all of this data into a pivot table. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to highlight everything. I actually highlight everything. I just don't click on the other Excel users or other Excel tutorials who are just going to tell you just to click anywhere inside the table. But considering that we have a blank report here, as you can see, nobody, this school hasn't particularly started anything, so it's gonna be cut off. So in order for us to prevent that from happening, we're gonna highlight everything. So that's from the first cell up to the from the first row up to the last row, from columns A to column Q. So that's the last column. And then after that, I'm gonna go and click on insert, and then let me adjust the size. Let's see. Okay, so that you can see it. Oh yeah. So with that, we're gonna click on insert and then create a pivot table. So that's gonna be our table range from sheet A1, because this is sheet A1. So from the first sheet on cell A1 going to the last row, 233 on the Q column. And then I'm gonna be transferring my pivot table into another worksheet. So I'm just gonna click on OK. So that creates another worksheet. So if you're gonna look into the bottom here, if you can see my mouse, we already have a new sheet, and it's going to be called a sheet 2. So we have sheet 1 and this is sheet 2. Then we're going to click on sheet 1, all of the data are available here, and then once you go on to click sheet 2, you have this one. And as you can see, we have the pivot table fields here on the right. So we have the pivot table fields on the right, which has all of the headers that were already created previously in our data table a while ago. So everything that is found on your sheet 1 is already classified in our column headers here in the field names. So the next thing that I'm going to be doing is going to classify I'm going to create an interactive dashboard using all of the data that are available here in the field names. So how many graphs will I be making? Because the interactive dashboard will be using graphs. So if I'm gonna look into the PowerPoint presentation that was given to us, if you can see this one, let me put it here. Okay. Yep, that's the one. So I need to create a physical accomplishment profile which has the axis, the KRA for access, quality, and governance in a graph from the physical targets, which is the how do you call that? The perceived physical targets versus the achieved physical targets. So this was the perceived, this was the planned number of activities for a physical target, and then which were actually achieved. So here in the sample we had 135 targets, but there were only 132 that were achieved or accomplished, which goes as a 97.78%. But if you are going to look at it closely, this is actually another graph. Can you see that? That's another graph. Basically, the report has one graph, and then another graph, and then another graph for the percentage or the rate of accomplishment based on the targeted number of or perceived number of physical targets. The same thing they did here. They had three variables. You see that? Now, this is just a sample. This is just a sample. But if you're going to create a graph, so we're going to be talking about graphs now. If you're going to create a graph wherein you're going to compare between two variables, this is the first target. You have the target and the achieved. Target, achieved, target, achieved, target, achieved. So you're basically comparing two variables. If you're going to compare two variables, it is actually one data element. You are actually talking about the same data. The target and the achieved. So with that, the two graphs should be interconnected. They should be intertwined. They should not be separated in this form. And then another thing, the rate should not be separated from the two graphs or horizontal bars, because they are using horizontal bars here, or column bars. They should not be separated from the column bars. The 97.78% must represent the 132 achieved target. It should not be outside the visualization. So that's one thing. Another thing, this y-axis from 0, 50, 100, and 150 to 250 doesn't really make any sense. I mean, you don't really need it. You already have the data here. It actually shows, you already presented it here. The 135, the 132. You already presented the data, the quantity of the data. So there's no need to have this y-axis here. And then, what else? The colors. It's a very messy, very dry. Green and blue. And then the green actually has a yellow outline. What's that for? I don't see the sense. And they are actually using the 3D. This is a 3D model column bar. So I mean, if I'm gonna make a graph, I'm not gonna be doing it this way. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna do it this way. Second thing, you have to minimize the number of data that are actually visualized in your graph. Too much things that are found in your data or in your graph it actually defeats the purpose of having a visualization of your graph. Would I choose the column bars when I'm gonna be using it, when I'm gonna be presenting? Yes, in this case I will use the same type of graph, the column bars, but I'm not gonna present it that way. The second type of graph that you would be commonly used to do or use is the horizontal graph, the one that's actually laid horizontally, not vertically, horizontally. This is the second type of graph that you're going to be using. It's actually the same, it's just the orientation are just different. But when you're going to be using the horizontal columns, most of the time you have to use it if you're going to set an order, so from top to bottom or from bottom to top. If you're going to present the least to the most, so you can use the horizontal bars. Or you're going to present the most number of frequency to the least numbers of frequency. You can use that. The third type of graph that you will be using would be the pie graph, which is the most messy of all type of graphs, because when you're going to be using the pie graphs, you can only compare 3 or 4 variables. If you're going to have multiple variables, the pie graph wouldn't work for you. It's going to be very messy. And then the time graph, which is the last part, which I commonly use if I'm going to be comparing a set of variables from and to, meaning from a beginning to the end. So I'm just going to be comparing two sets of variables from the beginning and to the end. So if you're going to be beginning, for example, the beginning of the school year and the end of the school year. So most of the time I will be using the time graph or the timetable graph. But this time I'm going to be using the column graph, which is the same here. The same thing that they are actually using. I'm going to be using this one but not in this manner. So how do I do that? So here, back in my Excel, click that. I'm gonna start by clicking the district here on the pivot table fields. So that's the district. When I click on the check, or I check the district, it transferred on the values. I'm just gonna transfer that to the rows here. So that shows up there. So we already have the Santa Ana here. And then I'm gonna be creating the KRAs for access, quality, and governance. So I'm just gonna click this one too. But I'm gonna be transferring that again here in the rows. So that will show us access, governance, and quality, and then the grand total. Then, because I'm gonna be presenting the physical targets, so we have the number of physical targets here, so I'm gonna click that one too. So that shows up. And then the achieved physical targets, and that also shows up. So this is the sum of all the physical targets for access. So this is the physical target for access, governance, and then quality, with a total of 26,361. So the sum of achieved physical targets, these are the achieved out of the number of physical targets that were perceived, are also here on the column, on the third column, or column C. So by just clicking on this different data fields and putting it on the values, it immediately creates a table that presents all of my data. Now, how do I make a graph? I'm just gonna click anywhere here inside of my table. So I'm just gonna click anywhere there, and I'm gonna go to let me guess, insert. Nope, not there. Pivot table, analyze. Not here too. Where is that? Wait, design. Nope, not there. I think it's insert. It should be here. Recommended pivot tables. Okay, recommended charts. I'm not gonna use the recommended charts. Already, I'm gonna use columns. So I'm gonna be using this one. Okay, there it goes. Let's increase the size. Okay, so we have access, governance, quality. So as you can see, I don't really like it. It looks so dry. But let me see. I think we have different styles here. Go to the design. Yep, quick layout. Let me choose one here. Okay, here it goes. Yeah, that one. That's a lot better. Why did I choose that one? Because I need to make my graph overlap one another to show the comparison that both of these bars are actually talking about access. Both of these bars are also talking about governance, and both of these bars are also talking about quality. So they are talking about the same type of data. So I need to put them beside each other, but not locking into each other. You can actually do that, but since the distance or the difference between both of these bars, column bars, are quite thin, so I don't need to put it over the other, which you can actually do, but I won't be doing that. So the next thing I'm gonna be making would be to chart title. Okay, I'm just gonna put in physical accomplishment report. Yep, that's it. And then here, as I said, I don't need this one. I'm not gonna be using that one, and I don't need this one too. Yep, see, the graph is a lot. Yep, I don't need that lines too. And what do I need next? Okay, add data to labels. Okay, you see that? And I'm gonna remove that. Add data labels. Yep. So the data labels are already outside. So I don't like the colors. Maybe I could change the color. Uh, Format data labels. Here you go. Here you go. Let me change the colors for this one. Let me change the color. I'd like it to have red. Yep. And then this one should be color blue. Nah, not that one. Yep, that's the one. Okay, this is the, that looks a lot better. So it already looks a lot better. No fill. Okay, and then this one, no fill. So that makes my report transparent. Why do I want it transparent? So that I can put another picture or image outside or at the back of my graph, which I can customize from the different Google images that I can find in the internet. So that's gonna be a lot more convenient on my part. So I'm just gonna change this, maybe put this on a bold, maybe, and then choose a font. I'd like it Arial. You know, the Arial is actually the most widely used font in DepEd. If you're familiar with the DepEd manual on visualization and marks, there are only two commonly used fonts in DepEd: Times New Roman and Arial. If you are familiar with the school forms, all of the fonts that are found in our school forms are actually Arial narrow. I know, I was the one who made it. Anyway, so I'm gonna increase that one. Maybe change the color of the font to, what's the color of our, maybe brown? Yep. Okay. Now change the font size. Here you can change it in our text options here. Maybe change the color to red, because this is red. Wait. Okay, red, and then this is going to be blue. This is going to be blue. Where are you? Text options. This is going to be blue. Yep. And then increase it like so. Maybe bold it. It overlaps with the other one. I see. Okay, I'll change it to white. And then maybe transfer it here. Okay. That looks better. See? And again, this one I'm gonna change your colors into white, then transfer you here, and then transfer you here, just like that. Okay, size is 12. I'm gonna change this to 12. Bold and enter. Okay, 12. Okay, so that represents our graphs. There's no need for the y-axis because we already have the data here. And I'm gonna change this one to narrow, Arial narrow, Arial narrow. Yep, then increase that. What the? This is what I hate. Every time I change it, just text options wants me to do it here. Okay, Arial narrow, and I think there's already bold. Yep. Okay, and maybe increase it. 14. Oh yeah, that's too big. Yep, it's enough. So we have the physical accomplishment report just like that. Now you can actually adjust the sizes of your column bars if you want to adjust it here. you can, as I was saying, the overlap. This is the overlap. If you want to increase the overlap, it will go. The two column bars will be with overlapping one another. If you're going to increase that one, the gap width would be the difference between each of the graphs. So I'm just gonna increase this one, decrease this one, so that wait, it's to maybe 25%. Okay, now that decreases the distance between the graphs. So you can just adjust that if you want. Now I have the physical accomplishment report here in our graph. So if I'm gonna make another one, if you're going back to our PowerPoint presentation, the next one is, let me see, what's the next one? Hey, the next one. So we have the physical accomplishment in game performance. So it's going to be talking about the game performance for access, quality, governance, and overall performance. So you need another one for the overall performance, but nah, I don't really need it. I'm gonna make another one for that, but later on. So I'm gonna make a graph for that. Maybe I'm gonna use the pie chart for that. But this one, I'm gonna put the pie chart over here. Yep, I'm gonna put it over here, but not here, not now. So if I'm gonna make another graph for the game performance, how do I do that? So I'm gonna just copy this one. You can make a move or a copy and then create a copy and then click on OK. You can do that, or you can just press Control and then go over the plus mark right there. Oh, it's not functioning. What's this? Oh, it's not functioning. Why is that? You're embarrassing me, god damn it. Yeah, there you go. So that's the sheet 2. So I'm gonna change this to sheet. No. In sheet 2, I'm gonna change this to physical accomplishment. And then the next one should be the game performance. So I'm gonna change this to game performance. So how do I do that? I'm just gonna click here inside of my table, and then in my pivot table fields, I'm gonna remove the sum of physical, just like that. I'm just gonna drag it out, and then drag this out again, and then look for the gain, PI gains. Here you go. And then the PI gains must be compared with, who would I compare it? The PI gains should be compared with the number of physical targets. Is it that way? They didn't compare it to anything. It should be compared to something. Well, anyway, they don't want to compare it, and so be it. So let's add the data labels, just like that, and then increase the size for this one. Alignment, I'm gonna put it middle. Okay, I think that's okay. The label should be inside the base, inside end, just like that. Yeah, see? And then I'm gonna change it to white. Change the size to maybe 12, then bold. Just like that. And I'm gonna change the color for this one with gain performance. I'm gonna change the color to maybe brown, and then the gain performance graph will be changed as well. So I have the red, the blue. I'm gonna change this to green. Okay, then you're gonna be green too. Change this to green. Maybe I'll change this to green too. Okay, see? It's as easy as that. It's as easy as that. You can create graphs easily using this, the pivot tables in our Microsoft Excel, and then you can do the same thing over and over for your gain performance, gap balance, and MOE funds, and then gap balance for the MOE funds, and so on and so forth. So that's it. So we have two graphs already, and then but we need to have this one. As you can see here, they have the overall. The overall. Let me see. Overall. So we need to make an overall for everything that we have created for this one. So the overall for the Santa Ana number of physical. So we're not gonna be putting we're gonna be removing the. Okay. I actually get it. So I'm just gonna copy this one, put it here. Overall physical accomplishment. Yep. So that's overall physical accomplishment. I'm gonna click here, pivot the fields. I'm gonna remove the KRA. Yeah. Oh yeah. So that makes me rough. It's just that. And I'm gonna put it down here. And where's the other one? Where's the other one? I can't find it. Data labels. Here you go. Right here. And I'm gonna adjust it. Here, just like that. Then so that one and this one should be the same. So I'm just gonna adjust it again. There you go. Let me move you a bit here. So we have the physical accomplishment report for the overall performance of our district. So you have it there. So how do we what do you call this? How do we make this an interactive dashboard? You can actually make one by copying. We're gonna call. So I made another sheet here. This one, I'm gonna move it here. I'm gonna call this dashboard. And then I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna paste it here. Then maybe resize it. Resize it again. I'll adjust the labels later on. And then the gain performance. I'm gonna copy this one too and put it here, and then minimize it just like that. So it's gonna be the same size with the other one. Okay, and because I need to minimize you a bit as well. Wait. Need to move. So I'm gonna put the other one here. Then the overall physical report. Copy that one. I'm gonna put it here, but I'm gonna remove the title. Don't need the title. Why? Because this is just part of the other one. Adjust it, adjust like that, and then remove that one. Maybe I'll just have to move this one. I'll move this one. I'm gonna close this one. Close. We're going to move here. Just like that. I'm going to remove the outlines later on, so I'm not gonna do that anymore right now. You need to adjust this first. Okay, so that it's gonna be it looks like so. Pivot and then insert slicer. District, district and school. Okay, so that's the district. In case you have multiple districts, then you will going to have a lot of districts that are found here. So we also have the schools here. This is the district. As you can see, JPRES is grayed out because it doesn't have any data. I'm gonna adjust this into 2 columns, maybe 2 columns. Yep, and then the size. No, 3 columns. 3 columns. 3 columns. That's better. Then increase it more. Oh yeah. And then report connections to all of it, and of course report connections to all of it. So with that, you have the accomplishment report for the whole district and the gain performance for the whole district. If you're just gonna choose one school, maybe you're gonna choose SASES. If you're gonna click that, it's going to change it here. So as you can see, the table also the graph also changes. The gain performance is 0. I don't know why. Maybe because the gain SASES doesn't have any gains or gain performance in the report. So we also have Junta, Mares. So as you can see, Mares has 1, and then CMMGS, that's Garcia, Agdao, and MLQAS. So if you want all of the districts to show up, so you're just gonna click on that one, clear filter, and everything's gonna show up. So your dashboard actually shows all of the districts, or you can show each school individually if you want to. You just need to change the design of your dashboard here, but well, that's gonna be a lot easier now because we have already edited parts of it in our different sheets. So that's how I create my dashboards. The other part would be to put other labels here, and again, as I was saying a while ago, I normally put background colors, background visualizations for my graphs. I'm gonna look for vector images in Google, and I'm gonna be using that to present my graphs inside of my Excel. So with that, I can easily create my dashboard using my Microsoft Excel and then upload it on the internet so that everybody can use it, everybody can see it, and then they are just going to click on the different parts here if they want to choose one school or multiple schools in their presentation, or as they are presenting their SMEA or DisMEA reports in their different fields. So that's gonna be the end of our presentation. That's actually it. That's how I create the principle behind my creation of the different Excel dashboards. I'm not gonna show you how I'm gonna be because this is actually factual data. I'm actually using factual data. I'm tasked to create the dashboard for our DisMEA. So I'm not gonna show you how I'm gonna do it in our district. So because it's gonna be a lot different, you know. Of course, this is I'm just telling you the skill, and I'm just showing you the skill behind making the interactive dashboard. On how I'm gonna be making it, it's gonna be a different story. So I will be putting some other stuff, of course, in the dashboard that we will be using in our district. But at least now you have an idea on how to make the interactive dashboard for your RMEA or DisMEA or DMEA. So if you are in the regional office, you can have this. If you are working in the division's office, this is going to be the design that you're going to be uh, proceeding to, or the route that you will be taking. If you're in the DisMEA, just like myself, this is going to be the way that I'm going to be doing it. But of course, when we will be presenting it in our district, it's going to be a lot different than this one, because I'm going to be putting some of my skills too. We need to, the expectations of people every time I make templates is a bit high already, so I need to cope up with their expectations at the end of the day. So this is how I make the Excel presentation or Excel dashboards in our division when I was working with the reading program. So this, I also taught this competency, if you may say, this skill in Region 6 when they had their ICT skills training in Region 6, which was handled by their regional planning, policy, and research development unit. So it was a region-wide discussion. I was the one who they chose to become the resource speaker for that. So it was a bit more comprehensive than this one. This is a bit, I'm doing this a lot faster than the usual. You know, I'm hoping that everybody already knows or already has an idea on how to use Excel. But if you don't really have the background on Excel, then it's gonna be pretty hard for you. But this is how I do stuff. This is how I make stuff in our division, in our district, or even in our school. So if you have any questions, Sir Bernard actually watched our stream a while ago. So hello po, Sir Bernard. Sir Bernard was my school head before I was transferred in a division's office between 2016, I guess, to 2017, because I was with him for 2 years, almost 3 years. At the end of 2015, and then the beginning of 2016 and the beginning of 2017, I was with him. I was one of his teaching personnel. Sir Bernard, or Sir Bernardo Parnares, was my school head who actually pushed me to work into ICT along with our previous district supervisor, Ma'am Evangeline Vicencio. So that was the time that I really worked with the ICT and established the first ever ICT district ICT core group in our division. So that's it. If you have any other question, you can just post it in our comment section below here in our YouTube channel. If you have any further clarifications, you can just post it there, and I'll try my best to answer it as comprehensive as I can. If I can't, I'll be answering it in another YouTube video or another YouTube podcast anytime soon. And as usual, I'll be broadcasting during the evening because I'm fasting. I'm fasting for the month of Ramadan. And to all my brothers and sisters in Islam, Ramadan Mubarak. ربنا تقبل منا صيامنا وقيامنا وتراويحنا وقراءة القرآن آمين يا أرحم الراحمين. So I am wishing all of my brothers and sisters a blessed Ramadan, that may Allah accept our fasting, our prayers in Taraweeh, our tahajjud, our efforts in the worshiping in this blessed month of Ramadan. To everybody else, I hope you had a good day, and I hope you enjoyed, or at least you learned something tonight in our presentation, in our live broadcast. This is Sir Wes of ISF Media, again reminding everyone to stay safe and always keep all of your tasks simple, efficient, and ambitious. Thank you very much, and goodbye.